Are you tired of dating disasters and heartbreaks? What if I told you there's a revolutionary way to find love that actually works? Buckle up, ladies, because we're about to change your dating game forever. In this golden age of information, we're unlocking the secrets to successful relationships. And guess what? Women in today's dating landscape have a unique advantage. We can learn from others' mistakes without the painful experiences. Intrigued? You should be. I'm here to share a method that's already transformed countless love lives. So if you're ready to take control of your romantic future, stick around. This might just be the most important video you'll watch all year. But here's the thing, I'm not here to promise you a perfect love life. What worked for me might not work exactly the same for you. But what I can guarantee is that the method I'm about to share has helped many women find the love they were looking for. Now let's get real for a second. A lot of women out there are suffering in their dating lives because they're doing it all wrong. They're not questioning their methods, and that's leading to a whole lot of heartache. So what are these wrong methods? Well, there are four main culprits that often lead to dating disasters. First, we have being overly sincere. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't sincerity a good thing? Well, yes and no. We'll dive into that in a moment. Second, there's indulging the man in everything. This might seem like a way to his heart, but trust me, it's not. Third, we have pursuing and becoming emotionally dependent. This is a big one, ladies, and it's a trap many of us fall into. And finally, there's forgiving and hoping he'll change. Oh, how many of us have been there, right? Each of these approaches might seem logical or even loving at first glance, but they can actually sabotage your chances at a healthy, lasting relationship. Let's take a closer look at each one and why they don't work. First up, let's talk about treating a man sincerely with all your heart. Now, being sincere is a great quality, but unfortunately, it's not what makes a man fall in love with you. You see, men and women are wired differently. Women can develop feelings for a man over time, but men need to feel like they've conquered the woman they're interested in. So being sincere is like having a beautiful restaurant. It's a nice atmosphere, but it's not what makes the food delicious. Many women make the mistake of thinking that being sincere will make a man love them, but it's actually not related to his emotional feelings. You can be liked by many people, but that doesn't mean a man will love and respect you. In fact, being too sincere can even lead to emotional and material exploitation. Next up, let's talk about indulging a man and giving him everything he wants. This is actually even worse than being sincere. When you indulge a man, you're showing him that you lack confidence in your own value. You're afraid of losing him, so you try to keep him by giving him everything he wants. But the thing is, a man will treat you the way you treat yourself. So if you're indulging him, he'll just take advantage of you. Indulging a man is like trying to trick him into loving you, but it's not real love. He'll only stay with you until he uses up everything you have or meets someone else he's interested in. And trust me, I've seen this happen to many women who indulge their boyfriends. They end up getting hurt and disrespected. Now, let's move on to the third way. Pursuing and emotionally depending on a man. This is not a good idea either. Pursuing is actually a man's instinctive need, just like women need to be cared for. But when you pursue a man, you're taking away his role and his feeling of love. He won't feel like a man, and his feelings for you won't increase. Men may like it when women pursue them, but they only truly love women who are difficult to conquer. So if you're pursuing a man, you're actually making it harder for him to love you. Have you ever watched couple interview programs online? Pay attention to the men who deeply respect their wives. They're usually the ones who had to work really hard to win her over. And when they finally got her, they cherish her so much and value her highly. It's like they're saying, wow, I had to fight for this amazing woman and now I appreciate her even more. Now let's talk about emotional dependency. This is when a woman relies too much on the man to feel complete. She might beg, cry, or engage in self-destructive behavior to hold on to him, but this actually pushes him away. When a man feels tired of the drama, his love for her starts to fade. And once he's done for good. You know what attracts a man? A woman with her own life, her own vitality. She's not clingy or needy, and she doesn't rely on him to survive. So, if a woman is pursuing a man and emotionally dependent on him, can she really be called a woman with vitality? Nope. Pursuing and emotional dependency are actually turn-offs for men. Now let's move on to the fourth method, forgiving and hoping the man will change. Sorry ladies, but this isn't going to work either. Here's why. Firstly, forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean the feelings between you two will improve. It's just sweeping the issue under the rug, but the problems remain. Secondly, when you forgive, you're putting yourself in the right and him in the wrong. But in reality, relationships are a two-way street. By forgiving, you're not acknowledging your own role in the problem, and you're just expecting him to change. Lastly, many women use forgiveness as an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for their own actions. They expect the man to change, but they don't change themselves. This creates a toxic cycle where they keep forgiving and expecting him to change, but nothing really changes. The evidence is clear. When women forgive once, they tend to forgive multiple times. They blame the other person and expect them to change, but they don't take responsibility for their own actions. So, forgiving and hoping the man will change isn't going to make him love and cherish you. It's just a recipe for a toxic relationship. So, do you see why so many women struggle in dating? It's because we are using the wrong approaches. These methods don't work because they don't take into account the biological differences between men and women. Men are wired to pursue and conquer, while we women are wired to be cared for. And when we use these methods, we're not allowing men to fulfill their natural instincts. Here's the kicker. Most of us have been focusing on the wrong things. We've been tending to the leaves and branches when we should be focusing on the roots. And the root of a good relationship? It's building up his feeling of love for you. So what's the solution? It's a new dating method that focuses on building a man's feeling of love. A method that's based on understanding the two needs that should never be lacking in a relationship: the need to love someone and the need to be loved by someone. There are 3 steps to make a man love and cherish you. The first step is to filter out men of poor quality versions and choose the right one. The second step is to behave correctly to guide them to the feeling of love. And the third step is to continuously build your relationship. Let's break it down. The first step is to filter out men of poor quality. This means being clear about what you want in a partner and not settling for anything less. It means looking for men who are respectful, kind, and genuinely interested in getting to know you. So, how do you filter out men of poor quality versions? You can start by looking for red flags, such as a history of cheating or a lack of ambition. You can also trust your instincts and pay attention to how you feel around him. And here's a super important lesson in dating: being true to yourself and not falling in love with a man's potential. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We meet a guy and we think, oh, he's got so much potential. He's got a great personality, but if only he would dress better or make more money or be more ambitious. And then we convince ourselves that we can fix him, that we can change him into the perfect partner. But here's the thing. People rarely change. And even if they do, it's usually not because someone else wants them to. So if you're not accepting of a man as he is right now, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Think about it. If you don't like a man with a beard, don't expect him to shave it off just because you want him to. If your guy loves expensive cars, don't expect him to suddenly become frugal just because you want to save money. The truth is, people are who they are, and they're not going to change just to fit your ideal. So it's essential to ask yourself, do I accept this man as he is right now? If the answer is no, then it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Many women make the mistake of thinking that a man will change once they're together. But that's just not how it works. People are shaped by their experiences, habits, and values, and it's hard to change those things. So be true to yourself and don't fall in love with a man's potential. Love him for who he is, or don't love him at all. Now, let's dive into step 2. How to behave in a way that naturally guides him towards falling in love. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. Those tactics are outdated and ineffective. Instead, it's about being your authentic self while making smart dating choices. You might be wondering, how exactly do I do that? Well, let's explore some common dating pitfalls and how to avoid them. Firstly, be cautious about physical intimacy too early. While the chemistry might be strong, remember that men often process physical relationships differently. Establishing an emotional connection first can lead to a more lasting relationship. Consider postponing those intimate encounters until you've built a stronger foundation. Next, avoid the temptation to chase him excessively. When you're constantly initiating contact or planning all the dates, you're not allowing him to pursue you. Give him the opportunity to take the lead sometimes. Focus on being your best self, and he'll naturally be drawn to you. Another mistake to avoid is becoming overly dependent. It's easy to get caught up in a new relationship, but maintaining your individuality is crucial. Continue nurturing your friendships, pursuing your hobbies, and taking care of yourself. A well-rounded, independent woman is incredibly attractive. Lastly, be mindful of negativity in your interactions. While it's normal to have disagreements, Constant criticism or attempts to control him can be detrimental to the relationship. Instead, foster positive communication. If issues arise, address them calmly and constructively. By steering clear of these common mistakes, you're setting yourself up for success. Remember, the goal isn't to change who you are, but to present the best version of yourself. With these insights, you're well equipped to navigate the dating world and find a fulfilling relationship. So we've talked about the common mistakes women make in dating and how to avoid them. Now let's talk about the positive side of things, how to create and guide the feeling of love in a man. It's not just about avoiding what not to do, but also about focusing on what you can do to build a strong and loving relationship. This requires effort and dedication, but trust me, it's worth it. To create a deep and meaningful connection with a man, you need to focus on your personal growth and self-improvement. This isn't just about changing yourself for someone else, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. By learning new things, improving your self-awareness, and gaining emotional intelligence, you're not only making yourself more attractive, but you're also developing the skills needed to build and maintain a strong, healthy relationship. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. As you work on yourself, you'll naturally become more confident, interesting, and emotionally mature. These qualities are incredibly attractive to men and will help you create the kind of deep, meaningful connection you're looking for. So, invest in yourself. It's the best investment you can make for your love life. I've made a video that goes into more detail about this method, and I'll link it at the end of this video. But for now, let's summarize the main points. Step 3 is all about continuously building your relationship and creating beautiful memories with each other. This means putting in the effort to stay connected, communicate effectively, and show appreciation for each other. It's not just about grand gestures, but also about the little things you do every day to show your love and care. By focusing on these constructive behaviors, you can create a strong foundation for a loving and lasting relationship. Stay tuned for my next video, where I'll dive deeper into the specifics of how to build a strong and loving relationship. And don't forget to check out the link to my previous video for more tips and advice on how to create and guide the feeling of love in a man. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and love. If you found these insights helpful, I'd love it if you could give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach even more viewers. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories and perspectives are truly valuable, and I'm always eager to hear how these ideas have resonated with you. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on our paths to growth and love. Until next time, remember to keep growing, loving, and living your best life.